Hey guys, welcome back. Today I am going to show you how to make these balloon garland like mini chains. We're making these in the more organic way. These are not perfectly symmetric. They are not all the same size. They are more flowy. I really like the way that these look. When you're looking for something that's not quite so stiff, rigid, that sort of thing, I really like the look of these. So let's get into it. Let's first acknowledge the elephant in the room, which is what I'm wearing. Okay, look, I wear this when I'm cold, and I'm cold a lot, so it's time that you guys got to know her. Should we name her? What do you think? Let me know. All right, so first what we're gonna do, we're gonna use 12-inch balloons. You do need to use good quality balloons on this. I do not think the Amazon balloons would hold up to this process. So these are Decamix. If you wanna know my opinions on different balloon brands and my preferred brand, spoiler alert, it's Decamix. You can check out this video where I go over a bunch of very popular balloon brands and why I usually end up buying Decamix. Okay, so I'm just gonna blow them up and then inflate them. Pretty small, like really small. About like that, I'd say. Don't worry that like, you can see the nipple and everything, that's gonna go away. Okay, now, if you've seen my other video where I talk about how to make a balloon garland, like your basic professional looking balloon garland, which you can check out here, you know that usually I tell you to really stretch the necks and smush the balloons together, but we are not going to do that for this. We actually want more neck in the part that has the air. So I'm going to try to tie these kind of as close to the ends as possible. We don't want extra air, but we do want extra balloon, like extra latex for the balloon. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so now we've got like, the neck is mostly here. Now, this is the easiest way that I find to do this, is to try to split it in half in the middle going this way. See, the nozzle is over here, rather than try to split it going this way. I find it to be, and it doesn't really matter as far as the final look goes. So I'm going to try to split it about right in half. And this takes some practice and some feel with your hands, so that I'm kind of getting a nice chunk in this hand and a nice chunk in this hand until I get there. Pinch in the middle enough to twist. Once you've got that first twist, then you can kind of, okay, let's try it again. All right, once we've got that first twist, I want these to be about the same size, which actually they are, but can you tell how this is like a lot thinner? It looks almost lighter colored than this. There's a lot more latex over here. So I'm just gonna try to, I've got it just barely untwisted, and I'm going to push some of the air out of here and into here until I get what I feel is like a little bit more. It's not going to be perfect, but that's the thing about these kinds of chains, is they're not going to be perfect. All right, that's as good as it's going to get. So now I've got it nice and twisted. Now, the next thing we're going to do so that this doesn't lose its twist and undo is take the nozzles and wrap them around the middle tightly just one time. That is going to keep these so that I don't have to keep a hand on them to keep them twisted. And then I can kind of just hold it against my body, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to pinch in the middle, find that middle, and then do a twist. And I'm kind of, this is, I promise you, just do some practice. You will get the feel for this, but I've got this like a little bit twisted, but you see it's not actually all the way twisted, just enough so that I can control by squeezing which side the air goes into to try to make these even, about even. So those feel about even. I'm gonna twist the rest of the way. So now I have all of these. I have 2 dupes, and I'm just gonna, it's hard to do and show you at the same time. Let me try that again. I'm going to bring that around. I've got my 2 dupes, and I'm just going to twist them together like I would any other dupes. And then I'm just going to hide these by either twisting them towards the center, so they're pretty well hidden there. And there we go. So there's my little quad, which I think is pretty, you know, pretty well in terms of like size equality. Again, it's not perfect. This is not the same as this kind of quad. So this is made out of 4 or 5 inch balloons, 2 dupes that are tied together into, or twisted together into a quad, kind of like your more traditional. Like this has a more classic look. It's more rounded. It's more, I don't know, formal. Whereas this is, it's just a little bit more free. It's more smushed, and it depends on the look that you're going for. I make chains with this kind all the time, but sometimes I'm going for more of this kind of look. So you kind of pick, like they both have their pros and cons. So, but this, I'm doing this kind of chain. These I have for this particular setup for just like my fillers, but these are going to be for the chains. All right, let's do that again. Bring that around and wrap it just once. We only want to do it once so that we still leave lots of neck as much as possible in this one, because that's what, when you overfill these with air, when you have too much air and not enough like balloon, like latex, that's when they get really difficult to like control and get your whole hand around. So that's why we only want to do it once. All right, I'm gonna make like, I don't know, 5 or 7 of those. All right, I made 6. So now we're gonna put them together with a 260. So I'm just gonna take my first one and wrap my 260 around, tie it in a knot. So this one, the nozzle is kind of like trying to stick out, so all I'm gonna do is like wrap it around a few times and then it'll stay in there. Okay, so I'm resting this little quad on my surface here. I'm gonna push this down and stretch my 260 up at the same time when I put this one on top. So I'm pushing this down, I'm pulling this up, and I'm squishing this on. And then I'm gonna wrap it around a couple times. There's my first one, same thing. Push this down, pull this up, and squish. Pull, squish. This is how you get, by pulling this 260 really snug or really tightly stretched, that's how you're going to get that snug, smushed look that we all know and love. This one. And then for this last one, I'm just going to find a nozzle from my last quad and tie it to my 260. Tuck that in. And there we go. So again, this is a very different look than a chain that's more uniform in size, where you're like using a sizer and you want them all to be the same. It's a different look, and I like it. Like, I think that they both have their place. So I'm gonna go make a couple more of these. I also have a video, one moment, showing you how to do the same thing with like in making a baby cluster. So I have a little bit of both of these. Again, I will say it till I'm blue in the face. What makes a balloon display grand and amazing, and like when you look at it you're like wow, is when you have variation, in my opinion, variation in color, not just color, texture, patterns, layers, when you have different things to look at. So that's why I like to do things like this, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of flowers. You put it all together and then you get this grand display that's like, wow, that looks really cool. So I will show you later, once I have this set up tomorrow, what this all came together and looked like. Until then, happy ballooning, and I haven't mentioned it yet, but please, if you made it this far, go find me on Facebook, on my Facebook group. I'm gonna link it here in the video description. It is a Facebook group free for you to join. It's called The Balloon Hub Hot Deals and Cool Designs, and it is just a place for you to take advantage of deals that I find. I find deals on places like Amazon, Shein, Home Depot, Michaels, like all the places that we are constantly buying stuff for our balloon business, and I find stuff that's on sales, I find discount codes, and I share them with you to take advantage of. So if that sounds good to you, please join us over there as well. Okay, now, happy ballooning and thanks for joining.